Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha! Well, today I'm trying something brand new, a band name, I guess, Infected Mushrooms, or Mushroom, and Guitarmass. So I'm thinking, just by the name of it, this is probably going to be some slammin' metal. You guys have no idea how close I didn't do anything today. Now, my friends in New Zealand and Australia, how's it? Tsunami alert. You guys had that 8.1 off of like Samoa, was it, or something like that? So I know you guys definitely got it because I got a couple comments here, but then I'm sitting there getting ready to do stuff, and all of a sudden my phone blows up and stuff. You know, when you live on an island, you got to be watertight and ready to rock and roll. But when you start getting those advisories, and it went to a watch, and then we're going, oh man, I'm gonna move my car, and blah, blah, blah. Like truly, I mean, tsunamis are serious stuff, but. That's crazy. They cancel it. All good. I'm doing a video for you guys. Anyhow, Infected Mushroom, Guitarmass, thank you guys for everything. I'm going to do 2 more videos before I take my break tomorrow, and then I'm going to be gone for about a week, maybe slightly longer. But, you know, no boo-hoo from you guys. Don't need. You've had enough of me. I've done over 120 videos in 3 months. Anyhow, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so let's do this. Thank you for the support. Any advertisement runs, you know my shtick. Copyright claimed by the publishers, record company, the artists. Hopefully they're making some money. And if you like what I do, being that my channel's not monetized, if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, all right. The link will be down below along with Infected Mushroom merch and songs and all kinds of cool bean stuff. Okay, here we go. Infected Mushroom Guitarmass. All right. Did I get pranked? No, seriously, did I get pranked? Okay, first of all, I can get with this, okay? I could fully rinse on this and still do my breakdowns and first listens and stuff. I just wasn't expecting it. I was like, okay, Guitarmass, and then it opened up, and there was this, you know, muted, very, you know, chopped pieces, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be really, you know, a really super cool rhythm arrangement. And it looks like, I should have looked at the hashtag. It's Psytrance. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm totally cool with this, and I'll tell you why. In my life as a library composer, I've written a couple hundred tracks in the EDM and mixed genre areas, not as a professional like these guys do it for records, but for media and stuff. So I'm doing this. I don't know what's ahead of this, but I'm doing it. And I respect this kind of work. And watch, you watch. I can break this stuff down. Ready? We're doing this. Here we go. Okay, this is a great place for me to stop. Okay, so now that I know what I'm into and I'm serious about this, a very unique thing about producing EDM music, at least in my experience, and because I do it as an old composer, decomposer, and I also do it when I get hired for specific things, the passion isn't necessarily the same as people who create this and will spend hours on building their own sounds, as much as me pulling from modules to make it work. There are many great modules to get the kind of sounds that are out there. I can't say whether or not they pulled them, they've made them themselves. But one thing that's very consistent about this style of music is I'm going to geek a little bit here on engineering, is the purposeful use of gated reverbs. And what I mean by that is if you listen to the kick, there's a little bit of a gate reverb on it. And so it goes kick and that reverb cuts off. And if you notice, a lot of the stuff that's happening, the arpeggiations that are happening, even though they're bouncing around a little bit, they have their own bit of reverb on it. Because if this didn't have some kind of ambient value to it, it would truly sound hyper sterile. It's not, we do know this is EDM. It's all electronic digital music. So there isn't necessarily a human element except for the people who are writing it, creating the tones and the beats and the kicks, the claps, the sound. That's another thing. For instance, when you listen to the snare, and this isn't rule of thumb. It doesn't mean that every EDM or psytrance piece of work all do the same thing. But in general, just to give it a little bit of ambiance, if the snare has what I call a super early reflection, which means it hits, but when it hits, if you roll up a really early reflection on a reverb, it gives you a very wide, here's the signal here, but it gives you a wide pop, And then on top of it, musically, let's talk about that hook really quick. Da, 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 da. Look, it's the first time listening, and I can remember that. That's what makes good composition. I don't care if it's an acoustic guitar. I don't care if it's a violin. Whatever it is, if there's something in it, if you like the basis of the genre, a good hook's a good hook, and that's what works in the music world, something that you remember from it. I remember Axel Foley and that whole dun 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 dun. I mean, that was probably the most, well, I'm not going to go about my opinion with the score and stuff, but it was the most memorable hook that I just remembered it right off the top of my head. So that's important about this kind of music, and that's what these guys know about. So let's keep rolling. All right. Okay, here's another great place to stop. One of the things about this kind of music too, it's kind of like, from what I gather, the audience and that it really enjoys this music, these are, the ones that you're out there and you're dancing and you're just lit on DMT. You're like on an ecstasy moon tribe kind of dose. And you're out there dancing, you're going a long way. Obviously, there's no lyrics or anything here, so that beat is what keeps you into it. It's tribal. It's like a rhythmic ceremonial ritual, except it's all digital. The sequences that are happening there are really super cool. But something else to recognize, though, is that there's just as much soundscape construction. So it doesn't necessarily have any tonal value, but they are, different kinds in modules, in certain modules. I guess the listing would be hammer noises, metallic loops, kind of stuff like that have no tone sound to it necessarily, but add as a percussion. So it would be like, a digital drummer. But drums, even tom-toms have tones. But so that's what's going on there. Now they just introduced this really super cool padded vocal track that I'm hoping will maybe last a little longer, because okay, I'm already rinsing on the rhythm and stuff, and I'm good. But here's when I'm starting to yearn for, like, and that's what I also do, is I follow my intuition. When I do these reacts, a lot of people go, "How did you know when to stop?" Just after doing this for a long time, you know when there should be, or you feel like there should be a turnaround. You musicians and all that know what I'm talking about. And if you're not a musician, that wasn't a slant. I wasn't digging at the fact that you're a non-musician. Viscerally, you feel when a change is coming too. I've said that a few times. And so that's why we all kind of lock onto something together. I like to call it mental tilapia. So, get it? Mental telepathy, whatever. I'm sorry, I was just imaging myself as some kind of full-on digital, like full-on. What do you call the monsters? They go from the car to the thing, and it was a John Petrucci with a guitar going. Sorry, I haven't even taken my medication yet. Okay, I guess that was it. Okay, now for a little bit of serious here. One of the really super cool techniques in this kind of composition that I've done is messing around with the envelopes. So in other words, having automated envelope action where you are actually taking the signal of the module or whatever you're playing through, and you set it to actually do something either in tempo or it rises or falls. Like if it goes, you know, that kind of stuff. EDM allows, to me, a lot more opportunity to be more expressive when you're messing around with depth of dynamics in sound. And what I mean by that is, because it's so digitally, sterilely clean sounding, that you can actually, with a fine-tooth comb kind of attitude, pick places where things are landing in their headset. This is a headset must listen for you to appreciate what I'm talking about as far as the depth thing is concerned. It doesn't mean that you have to, but there's a lot of very unique placement of things, or where they land or they end up and they resolve here when another sequence or something takes over. So that swelling envelope, that also encompasses, you know, swelling or automated low or high frequency resonance and stuff like that. That's work. I mean, I know that a lot of people think, well, let's call up my, you know, contact bundle of stuff for a reason and stuff like that. Call up a couple things and go like this and hold it down in a sequence. Sure, you can write stuff like that, and many people have, and many people have released albums and become very successful with, you know, very basic work. For me, as a library composer, I did that because I just needed to get on to the next job. What do you need? Yeah, great. Here we go. Boom. But for those who are doing this and their heart and their passion is into it, there's a lot of crafting and creativity going in there. Because I have a friend of mine that his son was a fairly well-known dubstep guy, and I'd watch for hours how he would create, or I'd hear, you know, he'd be in the, you know, in the studio on the other side of the house when he was younger, and how much he'd go through. And I didn't walk in and say, you know, anything. I just watched him go through his craft and stuff. And it's work. It's not a lot of people's jam, but then it is a lot of people's jam. This video's got 15 million views. So anyhow, in all seriousness, I super dug the track. It was a nice change. I mean, this has been pretty heavy journey here with all the metal and the subgenres, but I felt like I got played for a second because it did say Guitarmass. I'm sitting there going, all right, it's gonna be like, yeah, maybe not. Anyhow, you guys, thanks for hanging out. 2 more videos coming before I take my break. I appreciate the support, sharing the videos, the comments. Hey, and if you want me to listen to any other music from this artist or band, just drop them in the comments. I'm down for listening to all kinds of stuff. Oh, and if you're still here, type in, I want my EDM in the comments so I know how many people hang out. And then finally, if you see fit, if you'd like to buy me that cup of coffee, the link is down there. And it's more than the cup of coffee. Most of you guys know that. For those who don't, it's great for the cup of coffee, but it also helps me do what I do with the kids as a ventriloquist and these puppets that you see here. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So thanks for hanging out. All right.